Hey everyone, and welcome to week 11 of my Achilles Rupture recovery and road to recovery and all of that good stuff that's going on. So week 11, as I mentioned in week 10, I was going to go and see a private physio, which I did do, and it was very interesting, and it was good, and it was also scary because I've got some new exercises and new stretches which I will be showing you. What did she say? So she hasn't seen any of the NHS documents, my scans or x-rays or anything like that. For those of you who don't know what the NHS is, that aren't from the UK, it's the National Health Service. So she had a look at my ankle and my Achilles, and she poked around and stuff to see if I was in pain, and she said it's looking okay for where I am, and for non-op as well, so I'm non-surgical. For those of you who are wondering, I went the conservative route. I haven't had surgery on my Achilles. She was saying that basically the gap that I've got, where I show in my previous videos, you can see there's a dent in my Achilles at the back. Basically, that's the base of the tear, and then above that's sort of like a bulge, and just above that's like another dent. So that bulge, she says, is all the scar tissue and where that gap is, and now it's really fat and really tight and that. So she felt around there. There wasn't really much pain. And then she spoke about hydration and things like that, because some days I say I feel really tight and sore, and other days I feel okay. So she says it's also dependent on your hydration level. So if you drink a lot of water, it does help. So my previous video, again, I talk about minerals and vitamins and things that you can take to help aid in the healing, and one of them definitely is water. So try and drink a lot of water, which will help. So back to the physio. She then spoke about my pain that I'm experiencing with my calf, because I have been experiencing some pain in that when I'm doing my calf raises, seated calf raises. And then she explained about the tightness that I'm feeling. So obviously it's scar tissue, but I said I'm feeling tight on my shin as well. So she says that's just all the other muscles. You've got your front calf muscles as well, which cover the shin. So there's all of those that are now working overtime, because the main calf muscles are not engaging like they should, because they're obviously attached to the Achilles, and the Achilles is torn and injured and weak and all of that kind of stuff. So she was talking about the soleus muscle. Now I'll put a picture up here while I'm talking, which shows you this soleus muscle. Now on the right hand side, which I'll put an arrow to, you'll see the calf muscle has been sort of cut. You can see the medial head and the lateral head that have been cut, and underneath there is the soleus. And she says, because I said I'm feeling pain near the top underneath, but it's not on the outer calf when I'm sort of flexing. So she says that's basically this underneath muscle, and that attaches to other tendons, which I'll show in another image, which go in front of the heel bone and attach under your foot, which go to the balls of your toes and all that. And that's where you feel that plantar fasciitis pain that you have when your feet are hurting, like the arch of your feet and all that kind of stuff. So these muscles are engaging a lot more, because the calf muscles, the medial and the lateral heads, aren't engaging like they should. So she showed me the stretch, which I'm going to show you in the video after this talking and that, and I'll talk you through the stretch, and it's actually a really good stretch. It makes your knee move way over your toe once you've done the stretch, and I'll show you against the wall and everything. So that's a good one. And that was quite interesting to understand what she was saying. And I said that, so when I'm doing seated calf raises and lowering down, she says you need to concentrate on the eccentric motion. So basically, if you are flexing, you are doing a concentric motion. So you are contracting the muscle. So when you do an eccentric, you have to contract the muscle and then keep it at that tension, and then slowly release outwards. So the tendons, the muscle fibers will be pulling in the longitudinal way like that, and they will break the fiber. When you build muscle, you break the muscle and it rebuilds and that. So she says when you're doing concentric, it will tear that way, and it does mishmash and all that kind of stuff. But you want to do the longitudinal eccentric, so it will pull the muscle, break the fibers, and build up in that way. And she says the same thing's happening on the scar tissue, on the tendon. The tension is going in the longitudinal way, which you want for the stretch, and it will start laying down collagen to strengthen that area. So I found that quite interesting, and that will strengthen that little gap and make it more like your original tendon. So that's what I need to do more of, rather than calf raises, which does the under part of the medial and lateral head. So the bottom of your calf is seated calf raises. Standing calf raises is the top of your calf, which is more of the soleus and the top end of your calf. So yeah, so that's what I'll be showing you guys in the video. There's 2 stretches that she's given me, which are really cool, and it really concentrates on the soleus muscle. It's just a slight change in angle of the foot, and yeah, it's quite interesting how that works. And then what else? I will show you. Previously in my video, I showed you my ankles sort of falling inwards, and she says that's because of the stabilizer calf muscles on the sides and the front and everything need to be strengthened again. So balancing boards and all of that are going to come into play. But she also shows how that can be corrected with a slight angle change with the stretch. And then I will also show you an exercise which she's given me for the lengthening of the tendon and the calf and getting that top part of the calf working. Now, the other thing which sort of concerns me when I started doing these is the pain that I started experiencing in the calf muscle. Now, that's probably because it's really weak. I'm seeing her again tomorrow, so I'll be asking her all these questions. And it's quite a lot of pain. And then I'm getting pain also by the tear as well on the left and the right hand side of the Achilles. It's sort of like a burning pain. It feels like a stabbing pain as well when I'm doing the exercises. But she says you need to go through some pain in order to progress, but your body will tell you when that pain isn't good, and you will know when it's not good to stop. So yeah, I'm sort of pushing myself a bit more. I'm feeling that pain. I'm feeling okay. And I'm starting to walk a bit better now. I'm trying to get that motion. I'll show you as well. There's a walk that I'm doing to show you that pushing off motion and how the calf is activating and hopefully working like it should. And yeah, so that's my update for those things there. What else is there? So stretches, pain and tightness. What else? And that's it really. So I'm going to go into the videos now of me walking, doing the stretches, and I'll talk you through those. And hopefully these will be something you guys can try, but obviously speak to your physios first. Don't just take my word for it. This is what I'm doing. This is working for me. I'm finding it good. So make sure you speak to your physios and your doctors and everything. And, you know, you can always see how they go. So yeah, so that's it. And I will see you in the next part of the video where you see some of my Achilles in action. So the first thing I want to show you here is the wall stretch, where you put your toe against the wall and then you push your knee towards the wall so you can get that stretch in the Achilles and calf area. Now, using a kickboard, you can get your toe further ahead and the board's closer to your knee, so you don't get too much of a stretch. But you can see when I put my toe in line with the board itself, like I'm by a wall, it does take a bit longer. So this stretch I'm going to show you now is what the Private Physio has shown me. She says take your injured foot, place that at the back like you're walking on a tightrope, and place your big toe sort of against your other Achilles and create that stretch, and then slowly try and bend your knees but keeping your body straight, and hold that for 30 seconds. And then you'll see once that's done, you can actually see the difference in the stretch that I'm going to do now. The exact same one, I reach the board much quicker with my knee, and I can even pull it further back, and my knee actually goes over my toes now. So that stretch is really good. So you can see the difference there from my toe up, that gap that I've created there just from that stretch. And that I need to do 3, 4, 5 times a day, and that was just one. So that really helps. So if you're looking at a good stretch, that's one you can do. But again, you know, ask your physio, ask your doctor, make sure it's okay to do. And then just a view from behind. This is what it looks like from behind. So that's my injured Achilles at the back. And then just a slight change. And you can see how the toe is sort of lifted up, which creates that arch on the foot. So you're sort of leaning to the right a little bit. And that's, yeah, it's a really good stretch, and I'm enjoying that one. So here I'm including both stretches from both the good Achilles and the injured one. So the injured one's on the left, and you can see how much further down I can actually bend my knee, so the stretch is much more prominent on my good leg. So that's just a comparison there to show you guys, and you can see how far that stretch actually goes now after doing that tightrope kind of Achilles stretch, if you want to call it that. And then this is just a view from the front to show what it looks like, and then just slowly bend down at the knees. Don't lean forward or anything. Try to keep your body straight when doing it. Now the next stretch that she showed me is placing an object sort of in a line underneath half of my foot, so say from your second toe all the way down through the middle of your foot, just to create that extra stretch for that soleus muscle, which creates your foot to roll outwards a bit more. And then the stretch actually does go right up that muscle and also around the back of the Achilles on the inside of the your ankle bone. So there's a view from the front, so you can see it's just that slight elevation. You can see when I'm flat how my ankle pops out on the inside, but when I do that on the towel, you can actually see when leaning forward how it keeps the ankle straight and the stretch is more concentrated and focused. So that's another good one that I'm doing, and I'll do it from the rear view so you can see what that looks like. So there again, I'm leaning forward, you can see how the ankle sort of pops out on the left, and then when doing it on the towel, there's a slight movement, but it's actually much better, and the stretch is really good, and it works quite well. So doing that is helping. So now we move on to the exercise that I've been given. So again, using a towel with a bit of elevation so I can get some of the stretch. Basically, I need to do assisted calf raises, standing calf raises, to work the top of the calf muscle, and using a counter to hold my weight. So I'm actually leaning on a counter with my hands to bear my weight on my hands and not give it all to my calf muscles. And basically you got to work yourself into a square. So you go up the left side of the square, move across the square to the right, and then lower down onto the injured Achilles, which is on my right leg. So I'm moving that way. If your left leg's injured, you would go up and then move left. So you can see with the arrows, I'm going up and then I'm moving across, shifting my weight to the injured leg. So this is that eccentric muscle tension that I spoke about earlier, and then lowering down, so that weight is then on the right hand side, and then shifting over to the left and doing that again. So I need to do 2 sets of 15 of this every day, and this really hurts in my calf muscle at the top just below my knee, and also by the Achilles at the top stretch when I'm on my tippy toes on both sides just behind the ankle bones. And you can see with my left foot, my OK ankle, I can get that upward pointy toe position, but my right, you can see I'm struggling. I have to sort of shift my knee way forward, and then I can sort of pop it up to get that sort of ballerina kind of pose if I'm wearing stilettos or something like that, like really high heels. I just can't do that on my right ankle, and it feels really strange. And I spoke about it earlier. It's just, and lowering down, there's just no strength. It feels like there's just nothing there. That my ankle just drops from the top to about halfway, and then it sort of engages going lower. And so it's sort of bothering me a little bit. You can see there again on the left, my left ankle seems to go up much more easily, and the right, I really have to concentrate to push it forward and lift it up to get that. But the eccentric strength training is working. You can see the calf muscle is engaging, and once I'm done, it's actually quite weird sensation. It feels like I can't walk properly because there's just no strength there. My leg's just totally weak. It's like I've done a really strong or a really heavy workout on legs, or if you've run really far and you just feel nothing. So yeah, this is quite a good one. So doing that box motion, going up on the left, moving across and down. She did say when you're going up and moving across, try not sag to your weak leg. You must try keep a straight line to keep that tension right at the top and then lower down. And also once I've done those exercises, I do that sort of tightrope stretch again, which just loosens it out, and it just makes me feel much better. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is the walk that I have. So my injured leg's the right leg, and you can see I'm taking small steps, and the walk is pretty constant. There's still a slight limp. I can't put all my weight on my right leg and do that final push through of the step. So you'll see when I do a slow motion movement here, I try to take a step slow. It's just that final push there, when you sort of lift off that foot. I just can't reach that sort of pressure that I need to get that lift, and feels like this, and my leg sort of collapses if I do try and do it. And the same is from behind. You can see here, the right leg, I just can't get that final push off, where you can see my left leg, the calf just flexes right at the end. But I'm getting there. I'm doing it slowly. I do feel stronger. I am walking much better. The calf is, activating, as you can see there. And I think it's just a time thing. So I'm going to carry on doing this. And it's just, it's a long process, and you just need to stay motivated. You need to keep grinding at the exercises and the stretches. And, this is the progress I've had in 2 weeks since I've been out of the boot at home. And I think I'm doing okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you with regards to my progress and some of the stretches and some of the exercises that I've been giving with Private Physio. So those are the exercises and stretches that I've been doing. They're working really well. As you can see, I'm walking a bit easier than before. After the exercises, like I said, it is quite tough to sort of feel my leg and get that final push off when I'm walking, and it's just a weird sensation. It's like there's nothing there, and it sort of concerns me a bit. But I'm going to carry on and keep persevering with it. The other thing I wanted to talk about quickly was the physio did start manipulating my ankle a bit to get that movement. So talking about balance pillows or balancing boards and getting that ankle moving and rotating and doing all of that, she says that's good to do, which I've got one, which is in my previous video again. She said keep doing that. Now what she did do was work on the talus shown in the image here, and that sort of bone that fits between the fibula and the tibula. You can see it sort of like fits in like a square shape, like in that socket kind of there. And she sort of worked and pressed and started rotating and pushing it quite a bit, and just massaging there, because once your foot's in a cast and in a boot for so long and that's mobilized in that position, it does become really stiff, she says. So she sort of worked it over there, if that's your calf muscle and that's your shin on the top of your foot. She was sort of working inside there, which is that talus area, and she did push in that for a few minutes, and then she started pressing my foot up, and the extension that I got was much better. It's actually better than my good ankle. And then she carried on doing that, and she did it again, and she's getting more than 10 degrees, which is roughly what you need to start doing an easy walk or small jog, and eventually start running. So that's also good news. So the flexibility is coming in there. I don't really experience pain in the ankle. It's just from those exercises that I'm feeling it on the Achilles and obviously in the calf. But so far it's all good. I'm going to see her again tomorrow. I want to see what she says, and I will then do a video for week 12 and see if there's any cool updates that I can show you and my progress. So I hope this helps you guys. And again, this is what's working for me, so don't take it as this is what you need to do. I'm just showing you what's working for me. This is how I'm progressing. So if you want to do these exercises, make sure you consult your physio or your doctors and all that kind of stuff beforehand. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it's helped, and I will see you guys for week 12. Cheers.